Atamari, good morning. It's great to be here with you this morning. I'm here in Aotearoa in Auckland, and I'm Rachel Petero, the founder of Rise2025. And I'm joined by my amazing Rise2025 partner, Jeanine Bailey, who's in Doha. Morning, Jeanine, or evening.
Yes, it's evening here. Morning to you over there. And wonderful to be here. Thank you so much, Rachel. It's a real privilege to be working with you and doing this video today.
Yeah. So thank you, Jeanine, for joining me, and really a big welcome to everyone who is going to be engaging with this Q&A in this video, because this is all for you. And the reason that we wanted to put this together via our Zoom platform and this recording is that we've had a number of questions, and we thought what a great way to engage outside of emails and Facebook is to actually do a recording for you and answer some of those key questions. So that's the purpose of today. We want to spend no more than 10 to 15 minutes going through more of the detail around Rise, but just really having a conversation, as coaching is, powerful conversation, and sharing some of the questions and some of our insights and learnings throughout our delivery of Rise 2025 and the coaching industry in general. So, my name is Rachel Petero. As I said, I'm the founder of Rise 2025, coaching and leadership program for Indigenous women. And my iwi is Waikato Tainui, so ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa, e te iwi. And really my passion is to ensure that we enable and upskill our wahine, both in Aotearoa and New Zealand, but also globally, to have the skills to lead world transformation. And we have a goal of getting 100,000 Indigenous women positively impacted by Rise 2025. And so it's a journey, it's not a destination. And what we'd like to share with you today is what that journey looks like when and should you decide to join our program. So Jeanine, before we get started on the content of this Q&A, what has brought you to the coaching industry, and can you share a little bit about what brought you here?
Yes, thank you, Rachel. So it was actually about 10 years ago. If you were with me 10 years ago, you would have found me here in Qatar. And I was approached by a girlfriend of mine, a wonderful friend, as she was on a coaching program herself, and she asked me to be her guinea pig. And she asked me if I would go on this program with her. And I said, sure. But I have no issues. And but I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. So it was one of these things that I just did not anticipate. The questions that Avril asked me were eye-opening, they were challenging, they were stretching. They really supported me to create conscious awareness of what was going on underneath. So creating awareness of my habits, my beliefs, the things that were working well, but also the things that weren't working well. And actually, when I created that awareness, I recognized I was actually in a lot of pain, that I was not creating the results that I really wanted. I wasn't living my purpose. I wasn't living my values. I wasn't in the job that I wanted to be in. And it was actually creating dis-ease in my body. My body was talking to me and telling me, Jeanine, you're not where you're meant to be. And because I knew there was this inner voice that knew I was supposed to be doing something else. And so I decided, enough. I'm not putting myself through this pain anymore. And once I'd worked out what was really important to me, what my purpose and values were, I recognized that coaching is the way for me. So I made this decision. I took action. I jumped on a plane about 3 or 4 times to go back to Australia to become a coach. And the journey was amazing. Not only did I learn the skills of coaching others, so supporting and empowering others through asking questions, because coaching is about supporting people to find their own truth through questions rather than directing, leading, advising, mentoring, counseling. It's so empowering because it is about supporting people to find their own answers for themselves to the questions that they have for themselves as well. Mm-hmm. And so not only was I learning these leadership skills that enabled me to support others, but I also went on an amazing personal transformational journey. And I created a vision for myself about being able to support people across the globe. So back in Qatar, I met my current business partner, Marie Quigley, just over 5 years ago, and we created Empower World, which is an organisation dedicated to training others to be coaches, accredited coaches through the International Coaching Federation, as well as executive and life coaching. So, we've had huge success since we started the business, so keep the businesses thriving. And of course, along the way, Rachel, you joined our program. And of course, I knew you before the program. And so there was a connection there, and I believe that connection deepened as a consequence of both of us being on this wonderful coaching path. And so when you invited me to work with you in New Zealand, it was a no-brainer. The vision was amazing, and I really wanted to partner and support you with this beautiful vision that you have for not only New Zealand but beyond, as you say, the Pacific Islands, Samoa, Asia, and beyond. We know that it's going to be far-reaching. So I'm again hugely grateful for the opportunity to do this work with you. So that's how I got involved.
Great.
And yourself? Yeah, yourself.
Yes.
What was your journey?
Yes, so making decisions, taking action, and really stepping into that coaching space has been a journey for me. It's probably been over the last 15 years while I've been in HR, in leadership and talent development, and really just looking at what does new world leadership look like. And I believe, and there's a lot of research and studies today that show that coaching of leaders and using coaching as a leadership style is empowering others to come to their own conclusions. And that is how we develop creative and innovative teams of people in corporate, of communities. And I think that this is what attracted me to coaching. I also had to invest in my own professional coach to get me from being an employee in corporate for many years into being self-employed. And that was a big, scary jump. And so I recognized that coaching or getting a professional coach was going to be part of that journey. And I still remember that experience. It was a wonderful experience. It stayed with me, and eventually came to meet with Jeanine and also Marie Quigley, and took on the challenge of going through the coach training myself. And I think the beauty of Rise is that Jeanine and I have been through a very similar pathway to what you are going to go through. Jeanine maybe slightly earlier than the journey that I went on with Empower World, but we've both been through the Empower World experience. And so we can talk to that experience as you are going through the experience. I don't think there's anything more powerful than someone having lived it and then being able to bring that experience to the coach training program. And so going through that journey has given me more clarity on my purpose, my vision, my values, and really set the pathway for me to step up, to really step into a bigger, higher purpose that really is what I do every day. So life is coaching is life, and it impacts every part of my world, my family, and the deeper connections that I'm able to make in everyday life and business and career in community, especially with the Rise program. So that's been my journey, and that is what our intention for anyone that comes on this program. So it is about firstly understanding where you are at today, where you see yourself in terms of your goals, your aspirations, your vision, and your purpose, and then taking an action to decide and investing in not only the International Coach Federation credentialing process, which is globally recognized, but also your personal development journey. And I think that is one of the biggest things that we get in terms of feedback from anyone that comes on the program, is the personal growth, the personal development that they've been through. Has that been your experience, Jeanine, in engaging with Empower World coaches and the feedback that you've received?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have such a high rate of satisfaction that participants, you know, the feedback that we get, it's always incredibly strong, emotional, powerful. So that even though, I mean, we've had hundreds of people going through our coaching program, so even the people that actually have decided, no, I don't want to become a professional coach, but I'll utilize these skills in my day-to-day life, they will express what an amazing journey they've gone on in terms of how to manage themselves. Because the beauty is you learn the skills to not only coach others, but to also coach yourself. So people just recognize that there's so much that they take away from this course, even if they decide, yeah, I'm going to stick to whatever it is that I've decided to do. But again, incorporating the leadership skills. But I've gone on a journey of awakening who I am.
Yes.
So I think I shared with you earlier that one of the coaches that came on the program just recently, who I'd been speaking to for years, she, you know, about coming onto the program, had just kept putting it off because of what she saw as a cost and time and effort. But it kept calling her in. She kept seeing our promotions, and finally she took the plunge. And she said to me at the end of the 8th day of our program, she said, Jeanine, that investment seems like nothing now. I've taken away so much from this about myself and who I am and what I'm going to do going forward. So even though I haven't stepped into my coaching shoes yet, that investment is insignificant. So
yeah. So let's address, that's one of the questions that does come, that has come up from some of our participants who are still on the fence, deciding. And I think that's a great example, Jeanine, of one of the questions that is coming up. And so to talk to that point, we have one of the ladies that has been on our program, the last program, who again has invested in herself and just took the action, basically. Understood that there was a financial commitment, but I can categorically say that that investment in financially has started to repay itself already. And she had no idea that that was going to be one of the outcomes that came from pretty much the first 9 days of training. So on the 10th day, one of the ladies who came on our program actually stepped into a coaching contract, paid, and she would never have imagined that would have happened. And so the timing was perfect, but the action that she took to trust herself that this was the right pathway for her really was the opening of so many new opportunities, and they continue to unfold for her. And we have many other examples of that as well.
Yes, and if we put it out there, then we're going to put our attention into what we put out there and allow the opportunities to show up.
And one of the things that we teach and and coach around is this concept of fear. And so the fear of the unknown, we believe that all of the learning is on the other side of fear. So that is, we do a lot of deep work around what is fear to you, and how can we use fear in a positive way to empower us to take action and make decisions. So that's just some of the deeper work outside of the ICF credentialing process and the competencies that we need to tick a box for, and believe me, we took all of the boxes and more. The deeper work around fear and limiting beliefs, and really the new awareness that comes from, and consciousness that comes from doing this program, Rise 2025, is more than anyone expects when they come on the program. Would you agree, Jeanine?
Oh, absolutely. And we do get that feedback all the time, that what they experience is not what they expected, and it is so much more. It is a life-changing, transformational program. And as you said earlier, learning these skills and the principles underneath, it is a way of life. It is a powerful way of life, because it is all about creating outcomes that are good for self, good for others, and good for the greater good. So it's very ecological. It's I don't know how to explain it, but it transcends all cultures. Works across all cultures, all countries, all communities. It's a very global way of working with people, because it's based on the belief that we have all the answers within ourselves, and it's just the beliefs we've made up, as you say, the fears, or maybe not, the things that we cover our truth in, that we help peel away, so that we can get to the bottom, to the core, to the heart of who the person really is. So
and so if you are one of those people who is thinking around the financial investment, what we would share with you is to really put that aside for a moment, and really just focus on the things that you do have today. So that is, you have an intention to upskill and develop yourself, you have a commitment to the people that you want to serve, and you also have a motivation to do something different in your life. And so if you focus on the things that you do have and that you do want for your future self, I believe that you will come to the right decision, because you already know the answer. The financial investment will sort itself out. It always does. We've seen it 100 times before. So that is how we would talk to that question that is coming up. One of the other questions that comes up is really around, can I have a life and an actual business out of being a coach? So I'm going to ask Jeanine to talk to that question, if you don't mind, Jeanine.
Yeah. So to have a life and a business. Yeah. So, and again, it's completely up to the person, what that looks like. And it's all based down to personal choices. And certainly I know coaches that have got a wonderful balance of life and business, and potentially they are making that transition from full-time work into part-time work as a coach, and then eventually letting go of full-time work and stepping into full-time coaching, which is how I really started myself. But I was very lucky in that I created that intention of becoming a coach, and literally within 3 months after my training was finished, was working with a client full-time, working in-house as a coach full-time. So So certainly as an Empower World business owner, the work that I do is there's a lot of work involved. However, it's something that I'm passionate about, and it's something that I love. And so I feel always energized, always on top of my game, because I'm meeting my values, I'm meeting my purpose. So, but it doesn't have to be that way. I know that it doesn't have to be that way. And so, for example, my business partner Marie has got a very clearly with 3 young children. She's got clearly defined areas of her life that she focuses on in Power World and family and extra things. So it's really down to us as to how much time we want to focus on creating the business. But you don't actually have to work really hard to do well as a coach, because coaches are paid there's a variety of salary, or not salaries, but ways that coaches are paid. But there are some coaches who are paid very highly, and you can be one of those as well. You can choose. You can choose to be one of those coaches. It's, again, a choice.
Great. And so with Rise, we really want to take the coaching mindset, the coaching skills into community. And so that is a beautiful kaupapa and purpose, to be able to take the skills back into your whānau, back into your hapu and your iwi. And so a lot of the Māori, Pacific Island and Asian women that are asking about our program, one of the common threads is about how can I use this to serve the communities that I truly want to serve and am passionate about. And what I can say to that is that absolutely 100% the skills that you learn through Rise 2025 program will serve you for life. So wherever you decide and whatever intention you have in terms of setting the goals for the people and the communities you want to serve, that is one of the outcomes of the program. So the more clarity you get throughout the program about who you do want to serve, the more that will turn up in your life. We see it with all the cohorts. We see it with as our participants go through that journey, and it is an amazing experience to be able to see that actually go from maybe to yes, definitely, that is what I want to do with my coaching skills, with the balance that I want to get with life, career, business, and off they go into the world serving those communities.
Yeah, fantastic, Rachel. And in fact, it brings up a question for me to ask you. So people back in New Zealand, the women in New Zealand, they could choose another ICF accredited program versus the Rise 2025 program. So what for you makes the Rise 2025 program stand out? What's the difference between this program and others?
Yeah, so absolutely, Jeanine, there are other ICF programs, and we total and support all of our ICF providers because they are bringing coaching to the world, and that is our intention as well. So the difference is that our program 100% covers the ICF criteria, which is around competency and understanding the competencies, which is about the hours of training, the mentoring. But the other side of what I really envisage for the Rise program is that we embed also the Indigenous values and Māori values throughout the program. So very importantly, and actually non-negotiable, is around how the tikanga and the protocol of the program throughout. So for instance, we will start with a whakatau or a pōwhiri, depending on where we're starting the program, which is really about embedding the right tikanga as part of the program. So it opens up the space for us to have more learning, more powerful learning. It is linked to our connection to our wairua, our spirit, and I believe coaching is definitely in this space. And also we respect the tangata whenua, or the people of the land, whichever country we go into. So if we were running Rise, actually not if, when we are running Rise in Australia with Aboriginal, in Canada with First Nations, again, the tikanga and the protocols of that country will be adhered to. And I think that's a really important thing for me personally as an Indigenous woman and being Māori. But I think it is what differentiates our program, Jeanine, and we get that feedback. If you have seen the marketing from people like Jessica Perenara, Hinemo Ki, they talk about the importance of tikanga and protocols. And I believe that Rise is a bridge for especially our Māori women to reconnect back into their whenua, into their tūranga waiwai, into their iwi, and start that journey in a way that is safe, through the environment that we create. So the environment from day one is about creating a safe environment, a trusting environment, so that we can truly be in this space and that we can get the most powerful learning throughout the 9 days and actually the year that we're together. So that's the feedback, Jeanine. That's my passion to make sure that we do. And that is my role, actually, is around being the kaitiaki, or the guardian of that cultural integrity of the program. And I'm delighted and continue to be inspired by bringing that, and I'm learning along the way as well. So yeah, great question, Jeanine, and that is the feedback, and that is how I see us differentiating our program, Rise 2025, from others.
Yeah, and of course, having the experience of setting up Empower World and experiencing the training with yourself, there is that difference because of the rituals and bringing in the cultural aspects, which is truly beautiful to experience.
Well, you've had a learning journey for you, Jeanine, around Māori culture, and I know that that's been special for you as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I feel very honoured to have experienced the Maori culture and to continue to experience it, because it really is, it really is beautiful and powerful. Yes. So bringing all of those elements together, it's a powerful force.
Yes. So if you think about the best of international best practice for coaching, the Indigenous values in New Zealand, it's Māori values that we bring, and we believe that the Indigenous values that we've brought to the program transcend all cultures, Indigenous cultures. So we will test that out as we go through the program. And bringing the two together really is a hybrid model that we're very proud of. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. I think in terms of timing, those were pretty much the key questions that were coming up, Jeanine. Is there anything else that you feel in terms of a question or that you'd like to impart before we close up this session?
Yeah. Is it, I'm wondering if it's just worth quickly explaining what the program is about, the 9 hours of face-to-face training that meets the ICF requirements of training, and then the mentoring program, which is a 10-hour mentoring program. 7 hours is group online mentoring over 5 sessions, and then there are three hours of one-to-one mentoring based on 2 recordings of a coaching session. So getting really structured and specific feed forward that will support the learner to understand how they can meet the competencies even more effectively. So And that is all, that mentoring session is all about, all those sessions are all about setting up the individuals for success.
Yes.
When they do the coach knowledge assessment, which is, so once the training has been done, the mentoring has been done, 100 hours of coaching have been logged, which is submitted, a simple log submitted to the ICF. Then the ICF provides a link to the coach knowledge assessment, which is a multiple choice, open book assessment. And so everything is supporting the coachee to pass that successfully. And in addition to that, on the coach training program, we will set people up into triads and quads or pairs to practice the skills. And so this supports the client, the participants to start logging their hours that they actually coach. Because some of those hours, or 75 of those hours, are paid hours, but by exchanging services, that is considered a paid coaching session. So we will support people to experience coaching, to be a coach in a safe environment. So that will strengthen the muscle, the coaching muscle, and provide confidence to then go out and get more clients, whether it be, as you say, in the whānau or in the community. And it could be paid as simply as a cup of coffee, or an exchange of a service such as a haircut or a website, or building a website or something like that. So, or it could be even money.
Yes.
So
that is, you know, when I had been through my coaching, the actual money side of coaching happened very quickly. So, you know, getting paid for coaching can happen actually almost instantly. We've seen many of those occasions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so once you pass that online assessment, you get a pass straight away. You get a response straight away. You become an associate certified coach. And so that's the foundation. And then after coaching 750 hours, you become, and submitting to the ICF, you become a professional certified coach. And then the next level is master certified coach. But the ICF are brilliant in terms of providing so many resources to support people to again go on their coaching journey. And there is a requirement to keep the skills up to date. So when you go to renew your membership, your certification, the ICF will be looking for you to have completed so many programs where you're updating your skills, or being aware of developments and so forth. So it's really, I think it's a very good setup in terms of supporting people to become coaches, to actually experience it, do it, as well as some theory, a little bit of theory, that coach knowledge assessment, as well as making sure that we stay relevant and up to date.
And that is one of the reasons that I like ICF, is that you have to be a active, credentialed coach. So no longer are you sitting and being just a member. You actually have to maintain your continued professional development. And so that is definitely one of the reasons, out of the other coaching institutes that we could have chosen, that ICF is our chosen coaching institute. So, I think everything that Jeanine has communicated is the logistics. It equals around 200 plus hours of coach training, mentoring, and actual coaching practice, plus the home play and the Q and A's and the triad work that we do. So we actually go above and beyond the hours that the ICF require from us. So that is also a point of difference. And we do 9 days of actual physical face-to-face before we go online. And I think, again, do your homework, do your research. But I believe that we are doing more hours face-to-face more in terms of the mentoring and the deeper work that we do around emotional intelligence, emotional resilience, so that you are truly set up for success. So, and we have 100% pass rate for people going through the credentialing with Empower World and with Rise 2025.
Yeah, and that reminds me, Rachel, that was one of the reasons that you chose coach training as part of a leadership program, because of that emotional intelligence aspect of the program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is very important for me personally, but also with the leaders that I am coaching and working with. The IQ, as we all know, has been very important as leaders, but actually the EQ, or the emotional intelligence that you need to navigate globalization, the digital world, the change and the transformation that we continue to go through as a global community, requires a different type of leadership, and to have the EQ expanded in terms of your awareness, in terms of your consciousness, is a powerful and I actually think a mandatory skill of all leaders going forward. Others might dispute that, but that's my belief.
Yeah, well, there's so much evidence out there that that supports that it's more than IQ, it's EQ. At the end of the day, you know, we are people with emotions, we're skin bags full of emotions, and so being able to tap into people's emotions and really understand the wisdom underneath them. This is what emotional intelligence is all about, really listening deeper to what the emotions are saying. Is a powerful way forward. So, yeah.
And I truly believe, oh, sorry, Jeanine.
No, you could go ahead.
I truly believe that as Indigenous and as women, we have an innate ability around understanding emotion, and no longer is showing emotion seen as a weakness. I believe it is an absolute strength. How we manage and navigate our emotions is a skill. And so to be aware of what's going on emotionally, through our coach training, we will look at all of this and go as deep as you need to or want to, and we offer that space for you to explore.
Yeah, absolutely. And just going back to an earlier point that you made as well, I believe one of the differentiating points as well is we do have that ongoing support. You know, once the training is done, it's not the end of Rise 2025, it's ongoing. We're always there. We have a secret Facebook page where we are continuing to support people, and any questions that come up on that page is something that we'll respond to. So you're not flung out there. You're part of a community, and
Yes,
it's a rich community. So.
It's a very rich, very deep, very meaningful, very purposeful community of Indigenous women. And I think that is something that is priceless, actually. I don't think you can put a price on that. So in wrapping up today, Jeanine, I'd just like to thank you. The logistics of what we offer, we are posting out on our Facebook, through emails. Hopefully we've been able to connect with our more visual and auditory audience today through video. And I'd like to close by just reiterating that Rise 2025 is a journey, and the journey that you will go on is life-changing, and those are the words of the participants who have been on the program. But it takes you to really make a decision, take an action, and truly step into that space of really leading through your own resourcefulness, that the communities that you wish to serve. And I've been through that process. I continue to learn from all of the participants who come on the program. It's a reciprocal learning process. We may be facilitating, but believe me, we learn along the way. So we really trust that you will make the right decision for you, your whānau, your iwi, your hapu, and for this amazing world that we have the privilege of being part of. So is there anything you'd like to say, Jeanine, in closing?
Yeah, thank you. And just to say really thank you. You have created this beautiful vision. It's a wonderful program. It's like no other program. So if you're listening to this, we would encourage you to join. And as Rachel said, if you trust your instinct, then you'll make the right decision for you. So we hope to see you at the program.
Yes. So ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa, nō reira tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa.